All right, hello and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. Uh, Depending on what part of the world you're in, whether it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, thrilled to have you here for episode 160 in an ongoing series of live broadcasts that I created for folk who are clear that the next level of professional growth comes from that next depth of personal development. These are folk who know that the way to get better at doing what you do is to continue to get better at being who you are at your core. Whew, okay, racing this morning to make everything fit in because, as I harp on all the time, um, one cannot find or create time. One can only carve it out. And evidently, I did not carve out enough time to fit everything in this morning with ease and grace. So everything has been with speed and pace. Right. So this morning, I was struck by something that Jim Rohn said, obviously many years ago. Um, that one is the average of the five people with whom one spends the most time. Now, I know that Jim Rohn didn't say that during a global pandemic, and I wonder how that would apply now. Um, the number of people I spend most of my time with now is three, with my wife and my middleest child here at home. So 368 days into lockdown, I think my average is a little skewed. But I prefer a much older version of that same idea. And this goes back a good ways. This goes back to William Blake. And I'm trying to easily pull up the image of the quote, but this morning, everything seems to be a little clunkier. Ha, here we are. Beautiful. So, the quote I'm playing with today is William Blake's "The bird a nest, the spider a web, man friendship." Seemingly surface, seemingly on the surface, a very straightforward analogy. Um, what I love is for the bird, the way I heard it described so eloquently is a nest is very complex yet very practical art and built of the bird's own instinct and efforts. A nest is home. It's a haven. It's a place to find safety and rear one's young. For the spider, the web is more than just a home and more than just spun of its own efforts. My God, it's spun from its own body. And it's also not only a place to find home and safety and solace, but also a way to trap food. But both structures are complex but completely natural. And Blake's analogy is that for humans, friendship is all of that. It's a it's the energy of home. It's a place to find solace, to be recharged. It's a container. And it's something to be built from our own effort. It's not something like a snail's shell that we a hermit crab finding a shell. It's not a home that we happen upon. It's one that we construct of our own efforts. And it's equally as natural for mankind, for humankind, as is a nest to a bird and a web to a spider. But like everything else that looks simple on the surface, this is where the paradox plays in. Blake speaks to, not just in this quote, but in other writing, the idea that friendship is something to be built consciously, because friendships left unexamined or built unconsciously without intention can, like the spider's web, also be a place of treachery and danger. You know I like drama. So the idea is the invitation in all this is to be attentive about the people with whom you surround yourself. Friendship always, always through friendship can we unleash energy, or is energy unleashed, right? And it can either be the energy of renewal or recharging, reinvigoration, or even reinvention. It is a building, compounding, positive force, or it can be the energy of a desperate struggle to escape a trap. It's like everything else in our lives, right? Where we're not conscious, where we are conscious, where we do bring intention and attention and conscious choice, we bring the critical elements of what's needed to build one's home, our version of complex practical art, and building our friendships. So I'm curious, what do your choices say about you? The people with whom you surround yourself, both as friends and colleagues, for that matter, partners in life or in business or both. What are our choices saying about us? Mary Virginia, what I love about this is what most of you don't know is the same architecture firm that designed the nest, the house in which Mary Virginia and her husband live and have raised their family for a number of years, is designing our new home that we're just at the beginning stages of. So she says we can be intentional about building our nests so that they are not instead entrapped in a web. And whether it's being intentional about building the cadre of friends and colleagues and partners that with which we surround ourselves, or the nest in which our next chapter of life goes, it's well, sorry, what just popped into my head, that little ping of awareness that got me quiet, was everything in our lives deserves intention and attention and conscious choice. This conversation about friendship or our intentional containers, is just an invitation to draw that to attention. Is there an area of our life where that doesn't deserve intention, attention, and conscious choice? I can't imagine. No, I'm running through things in my head, and there's nothing. Even the places in our lives where we are to let go and surrender ourselves to the feeling, to the emotion, to the energy, to what's rising, to connection. Even in those places, that requires an intention to do so, attention to when it's called for, and conscious choice to do so. There's nothing in our lives that doesn't invite, if not demand, intention, attention, and conscious choice. All right, so we're done for the day. That's all that's important. Where in your world do you have the opportunity to bring more intention, to pay more attention, and to be more conscious about your choices? And I think that's the question I want to leave myself with for this week. Where do I want to bring more attention? Where do I want to be more attentive? And where do I want to choose more consciously? I know it's an artificial construct this week, right? It's because we've chosen to have, quote, weekends off. That our cultural construct is that we work Monday through Friday, and Monday's a fresh start to a new week. Okay, so I'll go with that agreed upon fiction, because you can decide at any point what starts your week. Fine. So Mondays. I've got 3 years of starting everything on a Monday. Wow. Okay. So what a great Monday test. What a great Monday test. Where can you be more intentional? Where can you be more attentive? And where can you be more conscious in your choosing this week? Yeah, Agata is speaking to a product that both she and I use, and my wife and I do. Oh, I wish I had it on my desk. There's a product called Points of View, YOU, Points of View, and it's a fabulous coaching game. It's a very cool product that these two Israeli coaches designed. Actually, it's a series of products now that allows you to do some self-coaching, and it's rich. It's a deck of cards that has very rich imagery and a word written on each card. Um, and it's a stunning tool to play with. And what Agata is speaking to is starting her day choosing randomly a photo from one of those card decks. And it's a great way to stimulate your choices and a lens through which to answer the questions: where do I where can I bring more intent? Where will I bring more intention? Where will I be more attentive? And will I be more conscious in my choosing? Ooh, I've got to go dig out my deck, which is unfortunately upstairs in our bedroom. Arr. Okay, well, note to self, bring my points of view deck back down here, because I'd love to pull one of the cards now. Um, and so I'll leave you with that invitation. Good morning, Stephanie. I'll leave you with that invitation is to play with: where do you want to bring more of each of those three critical elements to building one's home, one's practical art, one's nest, one's friendships? Where will you bring more intention, be more attentive, and be more conscious in your choosing this week? And as always, reach out to me directly, private message me, join into the Facebook group and share your comments there. I'd love to hear where these three elements are showing up more for you. You'll see me on socials today sharing that as well, where I will be more intentional, where I will be more attentive, and where I will be more conscious in my choosing. Um, it's like this energy of spring is permeating already. So look forward to connecting, look forward to hearing where this is all showing up for you. And between now and next week, what mindset will you choose? Thanks for joining.